Tea with Miss P, day 13. I actually don't have my tea right now because I already finished it. I'm making this video a little bit later than normal. It's almost about noon right now, which I know is when I'm supposed to have my videos up, but it's a lazy Saturday. The weather is kind of crummy. It's already been loud and rainy or whatever it's doing. And so, slow start. I finished my tea in peace to myself. And then I was like, you know what? I need to make this last video for Matilda. So this is going to be a super short video, just a few minutes long. I want to talk about the book Matilda. I want to talk about why I love it so much and different things about it. I read this book a really long time ago when I was in 5th grade. It was a class novel that we read when I was a student here in town. And then we watched the movie, and then we compared differences between the books and movie. So if you want to do that, that's definitely something that you can do, is that you can watch the movie and then see what's different, because it's not exactly the same. It's still a pretty good movie, but I love the book more. I think it gives more details, more insight. There's a couple of things I really like this book. One thing I really love is obviously Matilda. I think it's a great story or moral or lesson or whatever you want to call it. That just because Matilda is a small girl doesn't mean that she can't do incredible things. She is powerful. She understands how the world works, and she reacts on her world in a way that she understands. People overlooked her. A lot of people said she's just a kid, she's small, she can't do it, but she can. And it was only Miss Honey who really saw that, who really saw what an incredible genius and person that Matilda is. So just because you're small doesn't mean you can't do great things, doesn't mean you can't be exactly who you're supposed to be. So I really like that message. I also really like Miss Honey in the story. I think it's really interesting to see a teacher in a different way. When I first read this in 5th grade, I thought it was really interesting that Miss Honey has a story that I didn't know. When you read the book at first, you're like, oh, she's a teacher, she's nice, she's kind, she likes students, she's a good teacher, I want her to be my teacher. And I do feel all those things, absolutely. I would love to have Miss Honey as my teacher. But there is a chapter called Miss Honey's Story. I don't know if you guys remember that, but in Miss Honey's story, we learned what it was like for her growing up, how it wasn't all rainbows and sunshine. It wasn't all easy. She actually had a hard time growing up because she lost her mother, she lost her father. Miss Trunchbull, who took care of her, wasn't very nice to her, and I thought that was interesting, because just because you know someone, just because you see them a lot, doesn't mean that you know their story. Doesn't mean you know what they're going through. And I thought that was a really interesting aspect. And what she went through impacts her daily life. And how it impacts her daily life, even as an adult, is something important. There's a reason why people treat other people the way they are. But even though Miss Honey wasn't treated well growing up, even though a lot of people treated her meanly, she was still a really nice and kind person. And same with Matilda. Matilda wasn't treated very nicely at home either. They largely ignored her. They didn't want her reading, and they got upset when she was able to answer like really complicated math questions. They weren't very nice to Matilda either. But just because these two different people were treated poorly by other people doesn't mean that they did that to other people. They chose to be nice. They chose to be kind. And I love those lessons that we've learned from Matilda. I also love that she's a reader, because the better reader you are, the better learner you are. Absolutely. So this is why I push reading. I push you reading on your own. I push you to do the 40 book challenge. Matilda is one of my favorite books, and I'm so grateful that I was able to share it with you guys, even if it was just via YouTube. It's been so great to read this book again and share it with you guys and hear your thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you want to leave a comment on what you thought about the book, if you want to email me, if you want to call me. Most of your parents now have my phone number. They can call me and we can talk. And we can talk about this book and what you really liked about the book. One more thing before I go is I got a letter from Chef. So there are some people who watch these YouTube videos that might not be in my classroom during the school year, which is totally cool. I invited them to, yeah, you can watch it. I'm just reading Matilda, and sometimes I talk to my students. So if you have stumbled upon this 13th video, even though we have finished Matilda. Chef is a dear friend of mine. She has come to my classroom twice where we do book tastings, where we sample a little bit of different genres to see what kind of books we do and do not like. She's a very busy woman, and she can't come very often, so that's why she's only been to my classroom twice, because she travels around the world introducing new genres of books to kids and encouraging kids to read by going to different schools and stuff like that. She's amazing. Definitely one of my closer friends. Last week I wrote her a letter, because I wrote 20 letters last week, which was crazy. My hand cramped up a little bit. But I wrote 20 letters, and I finally got one back from Chef, and I want to read it to you guys because I told you what I told you I would. All right. Dear Miss Peterson, yes, I am staying safe at home and practicing social distancing. I am so glad to hear from you. I got your letter right away, and I was jumping up and down. While I've been social distancing, I have been reading books, and I have been thinking of new ideas to bring into the classroom when I come to visit. I really do not like staying home all this much. I would much rather be in the schools teaching kids about different books and to get them hooked into reading. I have some ideas for books, and here's a list, but I don't want you to share it with the students quite yet. So you can read it to yourself, but don't read it to the students. Okay, hold on, guys. When you are ready to read one of these novels to the students, please let me know which one you pick. I'd be interested to see how the students like it. That's all I really have for now. Thank you for reaching out, and I can't wait to hear from you soon. Social distancing isn't always fun, but I'm glad I have a friend like you who writes me letters. Maybe one of these days I can come on as a guest reader on one of your YouTube videos, the Tea with Miss P. That's a great name. Until I hear from you again, here is my phone number so that you can text me anytime. Love, Chef. So that's super exciting. Chef's practicing social distancing. She's taking her time to read more books. She's thinking about how she can bring those ideas into the classroom, and maybe she'll even be a guest reader on one of these read alouds. I don't know. I'll have to text her, see what she can do. Hopefully she has the same, I'm sure she has the same books. If I choose one of these, she should have that book too. And maybe I'll reveal that list later, but she seemed to be wanting me to keep that a little bit of a secret, because I think she wants a surprise from when I start my new read aloud. So I'm taking a break tomorrow. I won't be posting a YouTube video tomorrow on Sunday, but I should be back on Monday. I love you guys. I miss you guys, and I will see you later. Bye.